Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's poppin', the good people
Brandy Wood just hopped in. I got options.
of
Stockton.
Dynasty Land? What was trying to remember what
Gosh, my image is going crazy right
yeah, your
now.
image is going crazy.
I have no idea why.
We need to find a better solution. What's up, people? What's up? What is that thing that he says? What is that thing that Ron Burgundy says about San Diego? Stay classy? Anyway, it was not worth trying to explore that rabbit hole. What's up, everybody?
Good try.
Welcome
Good
in.
try.
Welcome in. Thanks for hanging out with us. And the first thing we need to talk about is a monumental moment for myself, for all Washington fans globally, people like myself who were born into poverty. We're born into fandom poverty. I was born into a Commander fan base, and little did that kid know that he was born into a poverty fan base. But today, I don't care if we don't win the Super Bowl next year. I don't care if we don't win the Super Bowl for the next 5 years. Today is a day that we celebrate because the Washington Commanders have apparently, in theory, been sold to Josh Harris, the owner of the 76ers and the New Jersey Devils, for around $6 billion. We don't know exactly where, but it's around $6 billion.
About six bills, kid.
And you can see the reaction from people, even in the comments below. People are happy. I literally woke up to this tweet, and that's exactly what I did. I did the Pat Bev. Oh, we'll scroll past that. Look,
What you do?
everyone is.
I want to see it again.
I don't think you do.
Okay, I saw it. I went back and looked at it.
But to anyone out there who's a Commanders fan, congratulations. Okay, this is a huge day. It's the same feeling I had when the Chiefs just won the Super Bowl. It's the same elation to know that good things are potentially coming. To the people out there who say, how do you know the new owner is better than Dan Snyder? It is very hard to get worse than Dan Snyder, okay? And I'll take my chances that Josh Harris is going to turn it around. He and the group, remember the group has Magic Johnson, Badake? The group has Magic Johnson as well. Magic Johnson's been successful wherever he's gone, right? The LAFC won a title in the MLS. Obviously, with the Lakers, you could say that was successful. Had success. Who were the? I mean, had the Sparks who won. Who else? Like he's had franchises that have won almost in every sport except for the NFL. So excited for Magic Johnson to be there. I'm already seeing around Twitter people saying the name has to change, and I agree. I'm ready for it, and I'm hoping that Josh Harris. I'm hoping that this group is ready for a name change. They're ready for a rebrand. Those disgusting uniforms hopefully are gone. Hopefully, a brand that this fan base actually wants to be a part of, that they can be proud of. A new stadium, so people aren't having poop rain on them while they're watching one of the worst teams in the NFL. At least we can be a brand new stadium watching one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Imagine spending $6 billion, then going through a name change, and then building a whole new stadium. How much money do you have?
Yes, but the thing is, trying to get current fans in on this brand is almost impossible. Like, it is like the 1% of people who are fine with the Commander's name. It's like the 5% maybe. The 95% are like, we don't want nothing to do with Dan Snyder. The name is terrible. They didn't actually care about what we thought. So anyway, I think if you do a name change, you have the entire fan base back in. You have the entire fan base back in. We're going to show up. We're going to support. We see what you're doing. We hear you. You hear us. And at the end of the day, just win some damn football games. But it's a good day. It's a good day to be great. And
it's a good day.
And I'm excited that we could finally potentially find ourselves out of this poverty season. I'm going to give us a timeline about 5 years. I'm going to give 5 years. 5 years to put this franchise back on track, please. Dan Snyder, all he did was be the worst owner in history of sports. over a 20-year span, and somehow he made billions of dollars. Anyway, it's a good day to be great, and that's what we're hoping to do here. We are also doing a mock draft today, a Dynasty startup mock draft. And if people want to join today, Badake, how could they do so?
Join our Discord, link in the description, link in the chat as well. Go to Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs and go to content releases. That's the easiest way to join a mock draft today. Once again, join our Discord, Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs, and then go to content releases. There should be a little arrow drop down when you join the Discord. Content releases, that's exactly where I'll be posting the link for you guys here today. It is first come, first serve. We are a little bit late today. We had a call earlier, kind of went over, but it's all good. We're here live now. We're going to be here for as long as possible. So make sure you join the Discord, first come, first serve. And if not, we go live Monday through Thursday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
We see all you in the chat: Angel, Harmon, Brandon, Chris. Cats took over. Michael J, Kelly,
Cats took over.
J Stump, WG, Just Dak. We see all of you. Jasmine. What's Gucci?
Got a new little photo there.
New photo from
She
Jake.
changed her little icon there.
Let's go ahead and send out these invites for people to join us. And while we are doing that, I will let you know that we're using the landing spots today from Tankathon. It's not sexy, but it's reliable. Bryce Young is a Texan. CJ Stroud is a Panther.
By the way, link is out.
Yep. Anthony Richardson is a Colt. Will Levis is a Raider. JSN is a Texan. Then we see Bijan Robinson to the Chargers, Quentin Johnson to the Ravens, Jordan Addison to the Vikings, Zay Flowers to the Giants, Michael Mayer to the Cowboys, Dalton Kincaid to the Bengals into the second round, where we see Jahmyr Gibbs to the Cardinals. I love that spot for him. Jalen Hyatt to the Patriots, Hendon Hooker to the Titans, Darnell Washington to the Packers, Luke Musgrave to the Commanders, Sam Laporta to the Chargers, Tucker Kraft to the Lions, Zach Charbonnet to the Cowboys, Josh Downs to the Chiefs in the second round.
Be careful.
Okay, Devin A-Chain to the Broncos. We see Tyler Scott to the Falcons, Jonathan Mingo to the Patriots, Marvin Mims to the Packers, Tank Dell to the Lions, Tajay Spears to the Dolphins. That's great. Let's see, anything else? Zach Evans to the Bills. And that is it. Rashee Rice to the Browns. Everything else, use your imagination. 2023 Dynasty Startup Mock Draft PPR non-tight end premium. Let's go ahead and start this tang.
You know, last night, so random. We were playing Call of Duty, Zach, and we got off. And
it sounds like you're telling me that we were playing Call of Duty, but just to be clear, me and Badake were playing Call of Duty together.
Zach and I were playing Call of Duty in a party with our friends.
Yeah, we have friends.
And then we do have friends. And then we got off. And then for some reason, I don't know why, I started watching Jonathan Mingo highlights. Why? No idea why.
It's a dangerous rabbit hole.
It's a dangerous rabbit hole at like 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, when like you were just staring at the screen. It ain't bad. It ain't bad. I'm just saying, without truly scouting, because
that's the problem. That is the problem.
Jonathan Mingo, would just and this was really quick. I didn't have like 22 tape or whatever the case may be. I didn't
watch any film, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I just watched highlights, and I wanted to see what he was doing. A lot of people keep talking in the chat. What about Mingo? What about Mingo? What about in the comments? What about Mingo? He's decent. I need to do a little bit more, but he's decent on his highlights, just like anyone else does in highlights.
That's what I was gonna say. If you watch highlights for any of the prospects this year, you're gonna find some nice things.
Yeah, exactly. You see, when I do the same thing. When I was laying in bed, I can't sleep. I watch highlights. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but me watching the highlights, saying, okay, I need to do more homework on him.
Yeah, you need to do more research.
That's all I want. That's all I want to say.
Sure.
And I want to say that, from what I saw, I liked it. But I need to really go do all the analytics and understand what I really saw, because there's a lot of people out there that really like Mingo.
The difficult part for me, at least, is I don't do it anymore, but like when I first started scouting, if I were to watch highlights first, I would find it more difficult to find the flaws in the film. Do you know what I mean? Because I've seen the highlights.
Yeah.
So that's difficult for me because like I'm like I skip past the things that are not good because I'm like, but I remember those highlights, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not
No,
able
it's
to
a good-
differentiate that as well.
Okay. But yeah, I want to see what that looks like for Mingo once I understand that. I'm pretty sure that can happen with a lot of people, but
I hear you. I hear you. Definitely, depending on how the NFL draft goes, you know, there will be certain players that we were not anticipating getting drafted that high, and we need to do a little more work on.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
Watson and Bryce go, and I just knew Kyler Murray would fall to me because nobody wants Kyler Murray right now, and I don't get it. I think he's still an incredible value. He's still very young, great arm talent, and I'm taking him at the 2-3, but I kid you not, Badake knows this. We keep having people on our streams telling me I drafted him in the 5th round of my startup. I got him in the 4th, in the 3rd. It's wild, but I think this is where he should be drafted personally.
Yeah, it makes sense.
By the way, Sean says, would you guys stream a real draft in one of your actual leagues? Yes. In fact, after the NFL draft, guys, pretty much like May 1st to middle of June, you're going to see real rookie drafts on this channel, multiple real rookie drafts every week for about a month and a half. So you will absolutely see real rookie drafts from people who are in our leagues. You will see that for sure.
Sorry. Yeah, you will be seeing that. And just on that by Kyler Murray, I did bring him as a buy low.
Yeah.
Candidate. So I think it's just really great right now to try and go get Kyler Murray. Like Zach said, still very young. 25 years old, going to be 26. Could even be on track to be ready for week 1. And we've seen a bounce back from a quarterback that has torn his ACL. Maybe not as mobile as him, obviously. And I kind of brought that in the video. I was like, Joe Burrow completely different. But like, let's not be scared of the quarterbacks. I know Kyler Murray threat is on the ground with his legs, but I think he needs to change that. We all know that, and he may not be as mobile, but he has the arm talent and the ability to make people fantasy relevant and keep his own fantasy relevancy up without the running ability. So just keep that in mind.
The only thing we'll say about real drafts is if you guys are going to join us, don't be saying, oh, this person's available. This person's available. You can't be doing that stuff. Because that will make some people annoyed for sure. Steven, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you, man. I said earlier that it was the first thing I woke up to today, seeing that the Commanders were sold. And it was pure euphoria. I've never done cocaine, but I imagine what it might feel like.
I've never done cocaine.
You just... sniffed that. That's what I snorted this morning. All them reports. I was looking at all the memes, all the people who felt like it's like Moses led us into the promised land, and now we're in the promised land. What's going to happen? Will we be happy with manna? Who knows? Like, we'll have to wait and find out.
Oh gosh, I've never done cocaine, but that's hilarious.
Ricky Bobby, you ain't first or last.
Can I tell the story about the bowling alley? Is that too much?
The bowling alley story. Let me just try and think about what is all entailed there and what I would want people to know.
I'm just going to say about... I won't say all the details, but...
You're opening up Pandora's box here.
Up to you. I just thought it'd be funny.
I'm trying to remember all that entails the bowling alley story.
I'm not gonna say all the. Hold on, let me make sure I'm ready for my pick.
A-Rich goes at the 2-9, Tua at the 2-10. Then we see Waddle, JT, Olave, Breece Hall, JSN, Kenneth Walker, which is good to see. And Joseph, yes, we were playing Ashika Island, if that's how you say it.
We play ranked a little bit as well.
Yeah. Dynasty and Polk Coke. Have you? Person that says has never done cocaine actually bangs 7-gram rocks on the daily. Gotta get some of that blue sky.
Some of that blue sky.
I don't mind you sharing the bowling alley story if it's censored.
No, this is what I'm gonna say. Let me just make my pick before. Let me see if I should go. I'll go wide receiver here. I have to get my guy T. All I'm gonna say is one time we went out, and we went out with the boys. It was a bachelor party, a Bucks party they call it in Australia, and it was in Melbourne. It was a different city. We were all at this place, and then Zach just disappears. And the next morning, and this is the censored version. The next morning,
okay, that sounds like I did something very sketchy. It was
no,
there's
it's
not much sketchiness there.
It's not sketchy. It's like the next morning, Zach wakes up and he was like, "I have a bowling alley." Like for some reason, the bowling alley that was
no, I didn't even say that. Someone was like, "What is that on your hand?"
And then he had a bowling alley, like wristband, and Zach went bowling by himself essentially when he was completely off his face. Drinking, not like on any type of drugs. And mind you, we were with like 8 guys, like eight guys at a bachelor party, just all having fun, and Zach just disappears and went bowling by himself. And I don't know why that was just so funny. We just all started laughing.
Yeah.
Probably bowled a 300.
Damn right. No, I remember waking up that morning, and I think one of our friends, Wesley, was like, "Why do you have a wristband?" And I was like, "I don't even know what this wristband is to." Yeah, it was a fun night. It was really funny.
Wristband.
I don't even remember being there. That's the thing. That's the thing about being intoxicated. You don't remember. Anyway, I am shocked that Kyle Pitts has fallen this far.
You took Travis Kelce, but yeah, I mean, he's
Shit.
gonna fall even more.
Wait, hold on. Just let me do this. Just for the sake of how it would fall. Just let me do this. I just that might be cheating, but what can we do?
Everyone got to do cocaine at least once. I feel like that's a big. I mean, not saying they don't do it in America. I just felt like growing up in high school, it was like, all right, we're smoking. We're gonna go smoke weed. We're gonna go smoke. We're gonna do this. Over here in Australia, it's like, and if you're a senior or a junior in high school, we're doing lines. We're getting it right now. That's how I feel like it is here. I was like, yo, you're taking it to the next level, and I'm only like 16 years old. We need to relax, right? Like,
dude, when I was 15, 16 years old, I was playing Call of Duty with my friends from church. That's what I was doing.
My friends from church, and you were so scared to even say shit when you died.
Yeah, I was in my basement. Just if I said the F word, I'd be like, "Oh, did my mom hear that?" That's what I would be worried about. My mom hearing me cuss.
MPs, I feel like you know what they do? It's either cocaine or some sort of pills. I'm like, wait, what? Like, relax.
Yeah.
In Australia, but I don't know.
Jordan
yes, we do live in Australia, Jordan.
Jordan says, my estimation of Zach as a good dude just skyrocketed upon learning of the bowling tale. Yeah. I feel like we were out the next night because people were asking me. I remember this actually. People were asking me about bowling. Like, who did you go bowling with? They're like, how did you go bowling? Who did you go bowling with? What were their names? And I was like, I honestly don't remember any of it. And then apparently I was intoxicated the next night, and I told all these stories about the people I was bowling with. So it was like that part of my experience was locked away to only intoxicated version of me.
Only to the next day when you're intoxicated again.
Yeah, just unlocked something.
That was also the same night I found like we were online to go into like this bar or club, and I found pills. And I gave it to Larry. And Larry's a good friend. I was like, Larry, I just found pills. And
you didn't know what to do with them.
I didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm not holding this. I was like, I'm not holding this. And I gave it to my friend, and he was like, should I do it? I was like, you don't know what's in it.
You don't know what's in it.
No, he actually never ended up doing it. Anyways, you're on the clock.
I'm gonna take Jahmyr Gibbs there. What a weird start for me. I've never really done a draft like this where it's like 4 different positions in a row. Alter ego Zach. Yeah, exactly. Like, what's that movie where people have 2 versions of themselves? Anyway, that version of me is locked away for a while. For a long while, actually. Mike, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Appreciate you.
Mike Chambers.
the stuff that you guys are going to hear on this channel might be different than some others. Like we dive into some weird stuff, but it's who we are. Whatever. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. The question is, it says 12-team Superflex tight end premium, 6 points for passing touchdowns. Fields, Jahan, Pickens, 24 first and a second for Mahomes, Cooks, Mooney, and Gesicki. You know, honestly, as much as I love Mahomes, I don't think that you have. I'll just say this: for all the teams, I would say maybe about 10% of my teams would have the depth to make a move like this. The other 90% of my teams, I'm gonna hurt myself long term if I make a move like this. So I don't know the context of your team, but
he did ask this question in the hotline. I think he also has like the 102.
Did he?
The 103.
Okay.
I did say, Mike, if you go look at it, I said I'm happy to take the risk, but I would counter taking out Jahan Dotson or Pickens. And then if I can keep one of those wide receivers, I would be happy not to take that risk. You know, he says, I said I would try and take out one of the wide receivers, like Pickens and Dotson. But if you can't, I'm still okay to do that. I'm still okay to do that trade because of your draft capital that you put in the hotline there.
Yeah. I think overall, I'm probably not someone who's making a move like this. But I think it's what you would have to pay. It's a 12 team as well. So like those, depending on how many stars you have, those players are very important to your dynasty team that you're moving. Yeah, I would be hesitant to make a move like that unless I'm just like all in and he's the missing piece. You know, so yeah, I hope that helps. But yeah, thanks for joining us today, guys. Appreciate you. You guys know the deal. If we get to 100 likes on this stream, we will pop off a second mock draft for you today. So do us a favor. Be a friend. Hit the like button. Currently at 50 likes, 90 people watching. Quick math tells us there's 41 people out there who could smash that like button right now, and we could hit the Guinness World Record for the most amount of likes in a second.
Quick maths. Just
quick maths would say that. But help us get to that 100 mark, and we will pop off a second mock draft for you guys today. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you don't know by now, you probably have heard, but if you want to support us, use our code LAND on flockfantasy.com. If you go to flockfantasy.com/land, which I can put that code in the chat, you can have a direct sign-up link to use our code to get our rankings, articles, exclusives. I actually dropped an article about Devin A-Chain recently. We got articles from Mason, from Pierre, from Fantasy Endgame. We've got bonus content. If you're one quarterback gang, you can see part 2s of our one quarterback mocks where we go deeper. We don't just do the first 2 rounds. You can see our rankings, rookies only, the entire of Dynasty. You can have an age slider, one quarterback super flex. Eventually, you'll be able to see redraft. When we add that, you can see my rankings versus Mason's versus Badake's. So much content over on the site. So consider using our code, signing up. And when the NFL draft is, after each round, our rankings will be updated on that site. So if you are going to be doing a lot of rookie drafts and you want to know where we stand after each day, there you go. That's exactly where we will stand each and every day. You'll be able to see that for one quarterback, for Superflex, all these Dynasty rookie drafts that you guys are doing. All those answers will be on the site for you. So you can literally, if you have let's say you have a rookie draft in a Dynasty League, the day after the NFL draft, you can have all of our thoughts straight away on the site. So consider using our code LAND when you sign up. That is how we are financially supported by your support. But let's talk about these tight ends going. This is not tight end premium. I'm not going to say that Hawkinson isn't worth the 410. I'm just surprised that he went that early, as well as Kelsey. Maybe it's not too early. Maybe that is where they're going right now. But is anything surprised you so far about this mock draft that we're doing here today?
No, and I would say that because I was thinking about this yesterday when I was recording my video with TJ Hawkinson. Are the Vikings really going to invest in another wide receiver? Yeah. Not saying they can't.
They will.
But was that trade for TJ their that wide receiver, that tight end guy, right? Like getting him in that caliber and how big he is, and
Sure.
and the youthfulness that he still has, only 25 years old. I wonder if TJ Hawkinson kind of takes his next step as as he gets older and as he gets more and more years into the league. The sweeter the berry, the sweeter the berry, the sweeter the berry, the sweeter the juice, right? Like maybe that's kind of the same thing when you think of in the
I think
tight
it was
end.
Kendrick Lamar when you say that.
Maybe that's what you think of when you think in the tight end world, and that's what I've been thinking about lately with TJ. Because if they don't draft a wide receiver in this draft, let's just say in the first 3 rounds, TJ is a big piece of that without Adam Thielen being there, right? Once again, all hypotheticals. What happens if it doesn't happen? What happens if it doesn't happen? And I think I'm happy to take the chance with TJ here at the 410. Travis Kelce, different story.
Little too rich for me. Look, here's what I'll say. There are a couple things that, like, if I had to put my money on teams doing in this year's NFL draft, like, I'll just go through it quickly. I'm not saying all these things will happen, but if I had to bet on certain things happening, it would be the Ravens adding a running back. I don't know what round, but I think they're going to be adding a running back. I just kind of feel it in my bones. Like, it's probably going to happen. The Patriots adding a running back because they've been so vocal about it. The Texans and Panthers drafting quarterbacks. Like that one's pretty obvious. And when it comes to other teams, like, I feel like the Vikings to me are like a clear, like, they are adding a wide receiver in my mind. Maybe that's not the first. Maybe it's the second. Maybe it's a Josh Downs or it's a Michael Wilson or like whoever knows in the second or third round. But I feel like the addition of TJ Hawkinson was already necessary when they had Adam Thielen. Now they've lost Adam Thielen. Thank you for the sub, Samuel. Do you know what I mean? Like, they already had Adam Thielen. Now they've lost him. And I don't think they're going to be happy with just Hawkinson and Justin Jefferson. Because if you think about it this way, as good as TJ Hawkinson is, he is not going to allow coverages to shift from Justin Jefferson to TJ Hawkinson. Do you know what I mean? Like, Justin Jefferson will still get the treatment that he had towards the end of the season, which was a problem for the Vikings, where we're just going to double you. We're going to put someone up top. Like, you're not going to go deep. We're not going to allow Justin Jefferson to succeed. Do you know what I mean? And I think, like, you need to add a dynamic playmaker. Hawkinson is good over the middle, but I'm not sure he's going to shift coverages to stop Jefferson. And speaking of the Vikings, Jordan Addison went to the Vikings here. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to take a little Jordan Addison here at the 5'10" as my wide receiver 2 behind Jamar Chase. But yeah, it's like, I personally feel like there's a high percentage chance. That's what I'll say. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but there's a high percentage chance that they will draft a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds. That's what I'm saying.
And the reason why I even bring it up is because if we really look into it, the Vikings are also a big contender of also getting a quarterback. So if they do move up, get a Will Levis and Anthony Richardson, whatever the case may be, they're not going to have the ammunition to get a wide receiver once again. And that's why I said, what if it's a 3rd round wide receiver that is not going to be taking so much attention away? Like, they can grow into be somebody for sure. Like, imagine they get an Amon-Ra in the 4th hypothetically, and they hit, right? But if they do get a Michael Wilson, that, okay, he could be a good solid wide receiver too. He's going to take a lot of attention away from Justin Jefferson. Probably not. Can he get there? We would agree that maybe he can. If it's a Josh Downs in the 2nd or the 3rd, but even then they don't have a 2nd because that's what they traded their pick for TJ Hawkinson. That's why I bring the conversation is like,
I hear you. I just don't think they're satisfied with KJ. Like, we know what KJ Osborne is.
And I would agree there. And I would agree. That's why they made this trade here, because maybe they already knew in the future they had to take care of Kirk Cousins. They have to take care of the situation in the quarterback room.
That's true. But to be fair, they're not in a position to draft a quarterback. They're not in a great position to address that need. They are in a good position to address wide receiver in the 1st round, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, 23 is a great spot right now for what we're hearing.
Yeah, for sure, and they can get a hidden hooker. They can trade back, get a hidden hooker. They can trade up, try to get a Will Levis if they really wanted to. I mean, we've seen so many mock draft where the Vikings trade up, and it's not even trading up a lot. Like they trade up to the 13, 12 spot, 14 spot, and then Will Levis falls to them. So once again, just bringing conversation, I wonder if that is the case. I wonder if they really believe in TJ that much, and that's why they made that trade. And we saw the emergence, not emergence, but we saw how KJ Osborne was of help and of use when Adam Thielen wasn't there. In the big game, if I'm not mistaken, against the Colts as well. In that massive comeback game, I think it was Thursday night or Sunday night. Also in the playoffs, like he had in the playoffs against the Giants, he had like over 100 something yards. That was with TJ and Adam Thielen. I don't think it was over 100 yards. I think it was like more like 80 to 90 yards.
Speaking of comeback games, Kim Kardashian is probably the king of those.
This guy. Speaking of comeback games, how about the Bulls?
Yeah, that was incredible. How about my OKC Thunder, though? Okay. You know what? Every analyst was saying, the Thunder, they're too young. They're too young. They don't know what they're doing. They're too young. Even Stephen A. Smith at halftime said, this Thunder team doesn't have enough. They're not composed. They're not composed like this team has all these vets in New Orleans. We don't care. They counted us out from day one. We were supposed to be a lottery pick. Let's go.
We're supposed to be a lottery pick. Got two rookies. Got the rookie of the year. Two of the same name. I forgot. The guy was saying it the whole time. What is it? Williams? Something Williams?
Yeah. Jalen. We have. It's hard because you have to differentiate them between where their colleges are. Williams out of Santa Clara. Williams out of Arkansas. That's the only way that you can differentiate them. But we have one hell of a core. Like, I am so excited about this team. SGA is a superstar. Josh Giddey is a superstar in the making, if not already arriving.
Which one's Giddey? That dude, white boy that's you?
Giddey, yeah, you said that he looks like me. I don't think he does, but you didn't say he looks like me.
I said if you were a basketball player, that's the vibes you would give off.
That's the vibes I would get off. Yeah,
that's like the demeanor you would have. Like, I remember like the dude like kind of gave him a shoulder, and he was like, "What?" Like hella late. I was like, "Oh, that's Zach." Yeah.
That's
funny.
But Giddey's a dude. Obviously, Shea is a superstar. He's an all-star. We just have a lot of really good young players. I mean, our team is so deep and so young. And we still haven't even seen what Chet is going to do for this team. Chet Holmgren. I mean, we have no idea what he's going to be. He's kind of this ultimate wild card right now. But yeah, I love the core that we have right now. I'm excited about where it's going to go. I mean, even like small details, like we have sharpshooters on the team now. Like Joe, I think his number is 11. I'm not 100% sure, but Joe is like this sharpshooter from deep. The Thunder haven't had that in so long. But yeah, I'm excited for us, man. And we gotta beat the Wolves to get in officially. But if we beat the Wolves, I'm not gonna say. Sorry?
Is that a really good team to go against? Like, are the Wolves like really good right now?
I mean, well,
the odds are against you.
The Wolves went all in with Rudy Gobert, which was the dumbest trade that we've seen in a long time. They sent like their entire future for a center who scores like 10 points a game. And, he's like one of the best defensive players at the time, but he's completely fallen off. But the Wolves are just in complete disarray. Like that entire team, that entire franchise is just in this, it's almost like purgatory. Honestly, that's what it feels like. But yeah, they're not healthy and they have issues. They were fighting each other recently. But if anyone watched the Lakers-Wolves game, like neither of those teams looked good. You know what I mean? Neither the Lakers or the Wolves looked like they were playing good basketball. Someone had to win the game. Whereas I feel like the Thunder, this is kind of like, obviously I miss the Russ, OKC, and KD and Harden years. Like those were awesome. But we didn't play basketball like this. We didn't have this kind of unselfish ball movement where everyone is on the same page. It was very much like ISO, I win one-on-one type ball. But fun team to watch, man. And I think if you look at the Pelicans, the Thunder, the Wolves, and the Lakers, who's played the best ball out of those four who are in the playoffs or the play-in, I would say the Thunder. And I would probably put the Pelicans right behind them. Like the Pelicans probably would have beat the Lakers or the or the Wolves if they face them instead.
Is there any games on tonight right now?
I don't think so.
No, I'm pulling it up. I got nothing right now.
I think the next one is the final play-in spots. The Heat.
What is happening right now?
The Wolves and the Thunder.
The Yankees are getting smacked by the Twins. I'll tell you that much.
Damn.
According
good
to
thing they have good thing they have 150 other games to come back from it.
That's the same way I feel about NBA.
Yeah.
What you just said is how I feel about regular season NBA.
I think if you followed NBA this year, then you would completely disagree. Like every game truly mattered this year, like 100%. Like the difference between like the 4th seed and the 13th seed in the West was like 3 games. Like every game mattered so much, and I don't know. You just wouldn't. Again, if you're not following the NBA, you wouldn't be able to kind of know that. You know.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So I don't know, but love the sport.
Yeah. Ayuk at the 6'10", Pollard at the 6'11", Chris Godwin at the 6'12", Deebo Samuel at the 7'1", and Christian Kirk at the 7'2". I took Will Levis at the 6'3", by the way.
I saw that. Where'd he go?
He went to the Raiders,
wow.
which I like the landing spot more than you. But what does that make him as far as rookie draft? That would put him Bijan 1, Bryce 2, CJ 3, A-Rich 4. Tell me if I'm missing one. JSN 5. Gibbs 6.
Hollywood there, man.
Gibbs 6. Addison 7. Johnston 8. Flowers 9. So does that make him the 110 there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is when, yeah. I agree, Steven. I think week 1 is like fuck. If you don't win week 1, it just sets the whole like season. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
For sure.
You know, but it's so big.
By far, the NFL is my favorite sport, easily. Like it's not even a question. But close second there is NBA, and I would say the NBA and Formula One are actually probably tied.
I would definitely say NBA is a sport that I truly enjoy watching, especially when it matters. I just can't. Week 1 NBA kickoff, I don't give a shit about it. Like they're gonna lose, and like, good job, boys. We got another one. You know, we got another one. We played them again. We played them 3 times again. You know, like what?
Chris, Anthony Richardson landed with the Colts in this mock draft. So you went Downs at the 7-6. That would make him the 112, I think. Charbonnet's the 111. Downs the 112 is what it looks like, and Downs went to the Chiefs at the end of the 2nd round. Do you think Downs is a talented enough player to separate himself from the rest of that room, from the rest of that wide receiver room?
I would say on a talent base, I think he is more talented than Sky Moore. That's what I would say. Is he going to beat him out? I would believe so.
That's a hard one for me because I think there's a chance he is, but I wouldn't put it as like he absolutely is a better talent than Sky Moore. You know what I mean?
Right.
And for me, we see Josh Downs a little bit differently, but I don't know that he's like, you know, a complete tier above as a talent than Sky.
And the reason why
that worries me a little bit.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that is because I have Josh Downs, you know, as like a top 5 wide receiver, where I didn't have Sky that high. I had Sky being a good guy coming in.
Keep in mind, it's a much better class last year. So wide receiver 5 in this year's class is not worth wide receiver 7 in last year's class.
And you're right in that aspect. I think he can bring a lot more to what they are already offering, right? How can I say this? I'm not saying Josh Downs is going to beat Sky Moore or Kadarius Toney. I think he will, without a doubt, compete and then put some, you know, have them questioning themselves really quick. because don't disregard Josh Downs just because he's 5'9", you know.
No, I'm not doing that.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying like
Yeah.
them. I'm talking about like Sky and them. It's like, oh, bro, this dude's hella small. He's gonna come in. He's probably fast.
Well, I don't think anyone would do that. Though.
Yeah,
I don't think they would talk about a teammate like that who just joined the team.
But yeah, it's tough with Josh Downs. But in this world, Elijah Moore at the 8-1. Okay, that's probably the highest we've seen him go, which I don't mind. I keep letting Miles fall. I was like, I'm gonna take Miles here.
To me, 8th round is comfortable for Miles. I'm not gonna go 7th round, but 8th round is comfortable.
And getting to the point where it's like, okay, Miles is like my cutoff there. It feels like he is the guy that I want every single time in the middle of the rounds. But every time I let him go, it feels. Every time I want to draft him, it feels too early. I agree, 8th round feels comfortable, but I feel like if I'm in the middle in the rounds here, and I need another running back, I might have to take him like a half a round earlier, so I can secure that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think I'm sticking to like 8th round at the moment. Still, I don't know. Maybe I'm undervaluing him, but I think 8th round is the most I would do. But yeah, I just think when you look at that Chiefs wide receiver room, right? I'm not suggesting that Sky Moore is will be a better player than Josh Downs. I'm just suggesting that I'm not sure that Josh Downs will differentiate himself enough from the rest of this room to be someone that you can rely on in fantasy. It's already really difficult to rely on a wide receiver in Kansas City. Do you know what I mean? Like outside of Travis Kelce, because Tyreek's not there anymore, you can't just replace Tyreek. Outside of Travis Kelce, it is very difficult to have anyone to rely on, right? I mean, between MVS, Tony, Sky, Justin Ross, if he ends up being a factor, who knows? But do you know what I mean? It's like, can Josh Downs really solidify himself enough to be a starting option as a rookie? I'm not sure. I'm not saying it will happen, but do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Sky. I don't think that. And you might disagree because you have a lot of hate for Kadarius Toney as a Giants fan, but I don't think that Josh Downs is a better talent than Kadarius Toney. I think Kadarius Toney is a far more talented player.
And I would agree, and that's why if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I said Sky Moore.
Sure.
But Kadarius Toney, yeah, maybe I have like a biased hate because of he was just being a little bitch when he was with the Giants. Even though he was a good talent, I think we overdrafted him. We drafted him pretty high in the first round, which I thought was pretty wild. But I think he is a really good talent. I think we both liked him. You know, he was a gadget player. He was really quick, twitchy. It was really hard to take down, and we saw that in that one Giants game with the Cowboys where he went off. If he can stay healthy, he is a top wide receiver without a doubt. And I think that was, I think we even said, like, he needs to stay healthy, even coming out of college. Injury issues. He missed a lot of games. He missed this. He missed that.
This is Justin Ross, is that? Is this Justin Ross you're talking about? Sorry.
I'm Kadarius Toney, and I would say the
Kadarius
same.
Toney. Sorry, I didn't know if you switched.
I would say the same with Justin Ross.
Yeah.
Justin Ross, I know a lot of people had high hopes. Came out of Tennessee.
He was from Clemson. He was really great with Trevor Lawrence before the injuries.
And I can't rely on the injury history.
No. And I think any expectations of Justin Ross is the wrong expectations, honestly. If you have him on your roster, great, but don't expect anything. We released a video about a year ago when he was announced that he was out for the year, and everyone said, well, Travis Kelce was out for a year. Travis Kelce was like almost a second-round pick, beginning of the third-round pick. They clearly invested in Travis Kelce. Tight ends typically didn't go that early, right? Wide receivers do go early, and this guy went undrafted. So the hill to climb is not the same between Travis Kelce and Justin Ross. They're not climbing the same hill. Those are different hills. One is much steeper. So any expectations for Justin Ross is probably the wrong expectations. If he even makes the team, if he has 20 catches this year, that's overachieving for him. In the same breath, he absolutely has the talent to do more than that. But I just think any expectations again is maybe the wrong expectations in my mind.
Yeah, and this is really tough to kind of understand where Justin Ross is going to be. But I think the odds are against him. Undrafted, a guy that we were all really high on, has a really serious, what was it, a back and neck injury or one or the other.
My neck, my back.
My neck, my back. My name is Justin Ross. So and that's why I'm okay just to avoid. If I can sell him, sure. If he does, and you don't sell him for nothing, right? No one's gonna buy him. So it's a bit tough. You can keep him, but I'm happy to drop him personally.
I'm selling him to the Chiefs fan in my league.
Exactly. Sell him to Zach if you have Justin Ross.
No, but I'm not buying him as a Chiefs fan. Abaki, thanks so much for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. The Christian, I think me and Abaki will defend Christian Watson until the cows come home, but he does it in a much more passionate sense of the word defend. But thank you so much for the super chat. And once you know, I didn't even look at the question yet. It's about Watson. I believe that's Christian Watson. Traded my only London share for Christian Watson and a 24 first. As crazy as it sounds, I would have done that too. Don't know where the 24 first is, but even to have like a lottery of where it ends up, I like the 24 class. I like Christian Watson. I don't dislike London, but I think there's more value on the Watson than the 24 first side.
Yeah, I would agree. London and 24 first, take a swing. I love Watson. I like London. I like the 24 first. So good price there, brother.
I love everyone. ELE. Everybody love everybody.
Christian Watson, man. What an opportunity. What an opportunity for big old Watson. They call him Stone Hands. I have him on one of my fantasy teams with Stone Hands because people saying he dropped so many balls. Look at us now, huh? Let me see if we
look
find
at us
out.
now. Somebody come look at us.
Yes.
Damn it, Geno Smith. That's what I wanted. Okay, Geno Smith cannot be falling to the 9-8.
Nah, man.
This is far too late for Geno Smith to fall.
I think a lot of people. I feel like Geno's fallen because people are scared. If people believe the Seahawks could draft a quarterback, why are they not believing that the Lions can do that? Right, and look where Jared Goff is going at the 5-1.
The Lions could. You're right.
And that's why I think they should be going back to back, close to each other. Not back to back, but at least not 3 rounds.
I would say there should be
rounds.
a 2-round gap between Goff and Geno at max. Goff is younger, greater history of success, probably a better all-around offense, even though it's close. But anyway. Geno Smith is such a damn good pick there. I really wanted him, and I was surprised that he was still on the board. Shocking, honestly. Shocking that he was still there.
Where did the Hendon Hooker go? He just went.
And it gets really weird here.
He went to the Titans in the 2nd round.
There's really not an obvious option for me.
I don't mind the Hooker to the Titans, though. Sorry, continue.
I'm probably gonna fill a need here and then go best player available with the next pick I have. My need is QB3. I'll take Mac Jones there. I would have felt better about Geno, but yeah. I just think Geno's undervalued right now.
I agree. I think he is undervalued. I think he's gonna play through that contract. If they don't draft the quarterback this year, he'll play this year, obviously, and then next year maybe he'll be the bridging quarterback. Unless they get like a Caleb Williams, that's different. You starting him day one. But I think the Lions are the ones that aren't gonna. I personally don't believe that they draft a quarterback. I think that there's a chance they could, but I think they really believe in Jared Goff. Like you said, younger. Only 28 years old. I think they can give him another 2 to 3 year contract, maybe to like 31-ish. Build around
the bigger question for the Lions is, what do you think about Jalen Carter? Because there's a chance he's available at your pick, and you could be getting the best player in the draft, minus off-field concerns.
But the off-field concerns have been taken care of.
Yeah, but still. From what I understand, they have, but there are still some genuine concerns. I mean, showed up to his pro day completely out of shape. There might be some optics that people are concerned about. I don't know, but you know, they could draft the best player available at their pick, or the best player in the draft rather. Sorry, at their pick. It's a possibility. It really is.
Yeah, they got 2 picks too. I mean, that's crazy that they got the 6th and the 18th pick here, and I think they can either go that, and then they can go a cornerback after trading away Jeff Okuda, which is now Christian Gonzalez is a big one that's available. A lot of people think. I mean, that was the first one that came to mind. I was like, okay, they're gonna go get somebody, right? Like,
yeah,
they have to, unless they drafted somebody last year. That maybe I don't know.
This is a really weird draft because there's almost like, it's not that there's no one I want to draft at wide receiver here, but it's pretty gross. Just being honest, I mean, it's a pretty gross draft right now with how wide receivers must have gone really heavy. I bet you there's a lot of really heavy wide receiver based teams here, which makes me want to pivot a little bit. And I think I'm going to pivot to Dalvin Cook, maybe. I don't know where to pivot there, but I'll grab Cook. That wasn't an auto. And yeah, let's see what kind of falls to me. It's a weird draft.
Dalvin Cook was definitely a guy, and then goes the other guy was trying to get Joe Money Bags.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 guys I had on my queue trying to go for a running back. Not in love with everyone else. I mean,
she's in love with who I am. Back in high school, we used to bust it there to dance. Oh, like I like. Yep. So we can officially say that we are 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. Yeah. In 2 weeks from today, we will know who some of these first round picks are. In 2 weeks. That will be beautiful.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild, man? I'll take Darnell Mooney. I don't know. I don't like any of these running backs. There goes Tyler Algier.
Back in high school, we used to bust it there to dance. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us, spending your time. If you have yet to do so, do us a favor and drop a like to show some support. We got AJ Dillon at the 10-9, Tyler Algier at the 10-8, Mixon at the 10-5, Cook at the 10-3. I keep saying this, but if the Bengals don't draft running back, which I think they will, but if they don't draft running back, Joe Mixon, assuming everything is fine legally, will be one of the best values in all of Dynasty startup drafts.
Yeah.
By far.
Let me ask you this. What round is it? Okay, it's Joe. Because if they get a tank in the 5th round,
right?
If they get a Tajay in the 4th round, what round is it to where we're saying?
To me, it's top 3 rounds.
Okay.
And even 3rd round, I'm asking questions, but first, obviously, 2nd round, it's clear. 3rd is kind of like the gray area where it crosses over, and it's like, how do we manage this moving forward? But what might be difficult is because the Bengals haven't even designated him to be a cut yet. The Bengals haven't even designated him to be a cut from the team. So we have no idea. We have no idea where they stand on him. And I don't think they really know. I think they're going to see, is the running back we want available when we want them? If not, we're going to bring Joe back. That's what it feels like. Who knows, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And we said this all off season. For a lot of these guys, it's going to depend on what the hell is going to happen. I mean, it goes all the way from Eckler, right, to Joe, to Who else? Tony is up there. Pierce is up there. I would say Chubb could be a guy that could be in the works. Dobbins, so many running backs that are going to be affected. So,
Grant says joined his first Dynasty League last year. It was one quarterback. Most content he sees is Superflex. Is that the most common? I believe that. Look, this is a Grant. You're entering dangerous water here with some of the quarterback gang. If you speak poorly on one quarterback, they're unforgiving. I'll say this: most people in my life who have tried to play Superflex end up falling in love with it. That doesn't mean that one quarterback isn't a good format or that it's not fun to play. But I know that also happened for Badake and I. Like, Superflex kind of changed the game for us. I think it is the funnest way to play. I still enjoy one quarterback. But I think in 5 to 10 years, Superflex is probably reigning on top. That doesn't mean that one quarterback's going away and that one quarterback isn't good. But yeah, it's just a very, very common way for people to start a dynasty draft right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. I'll take Alvin Kamara here. Got a debate here. Danny Dimes, Gino, Will Levis. I don't know what's happening, but I'm Josh Allen, if he doesn't play. So. Do you know what?
Office says I don't judge one quarterback league, though it's for knuckle draggers. Look, I think that both have their place. Just like there's a place for redraft and dynasty. Just like there's a place for best ball. All have their place. There's no bad way to play. You're still playing a game that's extremely fun. Thank you for the sub, Kevin.
You love.
Oh, the fall of Gabe Davis. He's available here, and I don't even want him.
Take him.
Don't even want him.
Take him.
Geez, these wide receivers are disgusting. But I'll go Tyler Lockett here. Welcome, Tyler. MP says, do you know what makes sense? Me drinking 12 beers at 3 p.m. today.
See you there, man. See you at the pub.
What's for lunch?
At the RSL, you fucking dog.
Watch your mouth. Family-friendly stream.
Family friendly.
Keep in mind, guys. Family-friendly stream.
Family friendly. Family friendly. Family friendly. You ever seen that clip? Remember that clip of... You probably don't remember his name, but Nick 830, where he was like, hey guys, goes, hey guys. He's like, shut your bitch ass up. It's like, oops, sorry guys. And like he was in a Fortnite match and he leaves, or Call of Duty match.
No, I've not seen that.
And he's super, like, he doesn't curse at all. Like, his name's Nick 830. He doesn't curse. He doesn't say anything bad. And then he was like, all right guys, I'm gonna try. And he goes, all right, I'm gonna try and talk to
okay.
People.
It's the other people.
Right. Yeah. Like in the Call of Duty lobby. He's like, hey guys, what's up? And everyone's like, shut your bitch ass up.
Yeah.
He was like, ooh.
That's funny.
It's so funny.
I have seen those videos now that you mentioned them. Okay, guys, I don't think we're going to get to our like goal today, but what we can do is we can do a tier ranking. So I want you guys to put suggestions in the chat of something that's very interesting that Badake and I could tier rank here as we end the stream today. Evan Ingram just went at the 12-2. I think that's a good pick. And I think I might take Chig here, man. I'm going to get a little Chiggy with it. The more I talk about Chig, the more I research Chig, the more I fall in love with Chig. It's a way of life.
Get a big old
once you Chig, you never stop chigging. And that's what I want to do with my life. They go Skoronski, the Titans do. They go Hendon Hooker. They go Derek Hall. So they don't draft a tight end, which is beautiful for all the Chig stands out there. But I I think I like Chig a little bit more than I used to. The more I research.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, I just saw this little rumor here 2 hours ago. Just realizing the Ravens almost traded for Broncos wide receiver Cortland Sutton before pivoting to OBJ. I don't know how accurate that is. Denver said they did not want to trade Sutton or Jerry Jeudy.
So the Ravens almost traded for
Cortland Sutton.
The Ravens almost traded. You're saying the Ravens almost traded, sorry, for Cortland Sutton.
Let me see how credible is this guy ZR. I'm assuming he has well, he has 79,000 followers, senior staff writer for the Athletic, Baltimore Ravens, covering the Ravens. Okay, interesting. So that could be a good source. Why would they pay?
Why you'd want to trade for Cortland Sutton?
I don't know why would you want to pay $18 million for OBJ for a year when they probably could have got a cheaper deal for Cortland Sutton that is cheaper and only has one ACL tear.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I'm not saying he's better than OBJ. No, there's no way I'm saying that. I'm saying he's younger, he's lasts longer, and he has one ACL tear. But
yeah.
I don't know.
I think today, if I was running an NFL franchise, I'd still rather take a shot on OBJ over Sutton.
How old is Sutton?
He just doesn't look good anymore. Like the eye test, he's 27 years old, but he just does not look good. I wonder if we have any reception perception on Sutton this year. Do we have any?
Let me see.
Because he did not look like he could get separation. And I've done no research to prove that. Just talking about the eye test, so I could be wrong.
He did put his what is it? Matt Harmon put his NFL draft prospects rankings out, which is great. Oh, Marvin Mims. I didn't realize April 6th. That was recent. I think today, if I was running an NFL franchise, I was selling for $6.5 billion.
Apparently, it's right under six billion.
And like right under six, or right under 6.5.
Right under 6.
Okay.
Apparently, that's what Ian Rappaport was saying.
Gosh, imagine having to sell like your franchise because you're just an idiot. Like that would have set your family. I mean, $6 billion didn't set your family up for life as well. That's not.
Yeah, imagine having to sell your franchise and selling it for $6 billion. What did he buy it for? I think it was like, I don't even think it was $1 billion that he bought it for.
Back in the day. Back in the day.
So Dan Snyder bought the Redskins for $800 million. And he's going to make about $6 billion off of the sale. Yeah, Brendan, I heard 6. I heard 6 as well, 605, but
what did he beg
I'm speaking to what Ian Rappaport said today. Ian Rappaport said today that he said that he doesn't think it's over 6. He thinks it's right under 6. So I don't really know, to be honest. Sorry.
No, it would just suck. I just feel bad for people that follow that team. Sorry. Like I was just thinking, like imagine the Giants had to change their name. It's like what?
We want to change our name.
I know, but like
we do not want to be the Commanders.
And yeah, not to be politically incorrect, but I didn't mind the original
Redskins?
name. Yeah, but at the same time, I understand why that happened. And I thought it was a super historic name. I thought the logo was cool.
I agree.
And I thought I thought that maybe they could have like honored it in a different way or like kept it like. But apparently, I was gonna say Chiefs, but you can't do Chiefs or like, I don't know what do they call like the head chief?
Well,
isn't there like chief? I'm assuming.
I think it's Chief. Yeah. I'll take Rashee Rice here. He goes to the Browns at the 3rd round, but
yeah, like native, something like that. That kept within that
Sure.
Native American, like
They told us that they wanted to sever all ties. But look, I grew up a Redskins fan, so I have a very strong attachment to that branding. I don't have enough knowledge to really speak on if Native Americans are offended by it, so I can't speak on it. But trying to learn and grow as a person, I know that I don't really have the authority to speak on if they are offended by it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So whatever makes them comfortable, that's fine. But yeah, I'll say this. Every Washington fan does not want it to be the Commanders. Again, there's probably like a 5%. But you know this, Badake, and I've told people before, it's my opinion that Dan Snyder never wanted to change the name ever, because he has decades and decades of year where he has said the name will never change. It will never change. He said, when pigs fly, I will change the name. I'm pretty sure. Like, he's like, the name will never, ever change. Does anyone think it's a coincidence that all this stuff about him, assaulting people within the franchise who are workers with him, forcing them to do weird things, does anyone think it's at all convenient that the name change happened right around that same time? To me, it's not a coincidence at all. The only reason he changed the name is because he wanted this distraction, where people wouldn't talk about him and the things that were happening in the franchise, in the building. To me, it was a distraction play, and it's clearly a show of desperation. He was on his last legs. He didn't know what to do. He wanted to keep the team. He wants to keep this persona that he is a successful businessman. So it's like, okay, this is my last attempt to try and keep the team and sweep all this under the rug. Because if you're a Washington fan, you probably know this, but when they announced we were changing the name and they went to the football team, they said, we're going to do a collaboration. We want all of your opinions. We want the fans in on this. We want you guys telling us what you want the name to be. Your opinion matters, right? Then they choose the name Commanders a year later, and wouldn't you know it, the name Commanders was already trademarked by Washington before they announced the original name change.
200 IQ.
It is the fans had nothing to do with that name. They had no say in it. They ignored everything that we asked for. Again, to me, this entire name change was a distraction by Dan Snyder, so people would basically take the heat off him. Oh, the Commanders are changing their name. They're changing their history. What could it be? What could it be? What could it be? Instead of this girl was assaulted by Dan Snyder. This girl, felt this way. He made them take these photos. He said this to other people. He stole money from the other owners. To me, it was a complete ploy to take all the heat off of him. So I don't think he cares, and I think he just basically took a big shit on it as he walked off. Like, didn't care about the history, didn't care about what fans thought. I don't really care. I can do whatever I want. I'm Dan Snyder. So anyway, I would be shocked if the name changes. If the name doesn't change, sorry. If the name stays the Commanders, I would be shocked, because it would show an inability from the new owners and the new group of like this inability to connect to the franchise. So I would be shocked. I don't think anyone wants to support Dan Snyder. I don't think anyone wants to support, what he's done or represent him in any sort of way. So I need a name change personally.
Name change isn't coming. I agree. Okay, yeah. Let's go back to the Washington football team. Let's go back. Maybe call them the Washington Tribe. That'd be cool.
The Tribe? That's actually cool. Washington Tribe is actually cool. That's actually one of the cooler names I've heard someone say. Did you come up with that on your own, or did you see that somewhere?
No, I typed in Native American synonyms, and tribe was the first word that came up.
Tribe is cool, actually.
Tribe is cool. But that was the first one.
My favorites have always been Red Wolves or Wolves, and the Red Tails, because I think Red Tails is a really cool story behind it. And then alternatively, Washington the Hogs, because I think that speaks to our history when we were great, the Washington Hogs. So again, I think Tribe you can throw into that name as well, into that ring as well. I like that name, but
you should make the graphic
for me in order. It would be red wolves, then it would be red tails, then it would be hogs, and then it would be tribe. But I think those are all really good options. So the meaning behind red tails, so these were the first, I believe, African American fighter pilots in the U.S. In the, is it the Navy? Sorry,
Air Force, you mean?
Maybe the Air Force. Sorry.
I have no idea.
Let me see. Where's the history of it? Red tails. How do I type this in?
Red tail history. I don't know.
History. Yeah. Okay, so the Tuskegee Airmen flew more than 15,000 sorties between May 1943 and June 1945. Bomber crews often requested to be escorted by these red tails, a nickname acquired from the painted tails of the Tuskegee fighter planes, which were a distinctive deep red. So I think they were, if I'm not mistaken, they're like the first African American fighter pilots for America, essentially. I would need to research more, but I from my basic understanding of it, I think that would be cool.
Yeah. It would be cool. Tribe. There you go.
Yeah.
See? Which way too tricky. What do you do mascot for tribe or Native American team?
The,
what do you do for the Giants? Office? A big giant mascot? Like, there's so many teams out there. Like, how do you do a mascot for? You just gotta figure out, like, the Browns. What? A little.
There's a design that I've seen this guy do. His name is Gonzo on Twitter. He does really good. I really enjoy graphic design, so if someone like does a redesign or something, like, I'll probably follow them on Twitter just because I can't get enough of that stuff. But there's a redesign that he does of Washington, and it's pretty cool. I'm gonna try and find it. Let me try and find it. Anyway.
Wants to get rich or die trying this weekend. I'm hyped on 50. And Bay's on the next one today.
How do you search for like
ethnic group would be well? I feel like try can be right. I mean, that can make sense. Double L.
What was it?
It's like I don't think going from one ethnicity group to another could be bad, but I guess keeping it within where it was at the time, where Redskins was taking in the bad way. Like, I think someone said in the chat earlier, like, why not have them choose? Like, why not go to the Native Americans and say, is this disrespectful? Is this a way to honor, and also kind of keep that history? Because
Sure.
I don't know what the
I thought this was sick.
the meaning behind. Oh, is that what you were talking about?
This is one of them, yeah. Like that logo to me, that's the coolest thing I've seen from any redesign with Washington being involved in a while. Like, who knows what the helmets look like, but I think that looks sick, looks classic, looks cool. And again, like, Hogs kind of plays on like our history.
What's so weird about, like, there's two different aspects of.
Okay, I found, sorry, just quickly, I found a logo. Like, this design to me, that looks sick. Like, I think that looks really cool. And yeah, probably take the oink off of it. Like, we can put Washington there instead. The oink is kind of weird. But like, this branding is way cooler than what we have right now. I mean, look at the hog on the side. It says Hogs. It looks clean. The colors look good. The colors represent our history. Take the oink out of there. Put DC. Put Washington. I don't know, but like, that's clean. That's clean to me. I like that one.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I feel like the reason why I don't like the name Hogs and not in love with it, I think the history is there with the team, but the reason why I don't like the Hogs is because I don't think it fits. As weird as it sounds, it doesn't fit with the NFL. I can't see this team name.
Do the Browns fit with the NFL?
I think it does because of the history with it. The Browns were one of the. They were just the Browns. There was just no. I don't know. That's how I feel. I feel like all the teams that we know here, and I think maybe this is why it's hard, because we're bringing a brand new team and trying to incorporate it with everything, right? With all the history that we already know. Yeah, I don't know. Like the Hogs versus the Panthers. Well, Panthers should win.
Yeah,
You know, it sounds weird.
I love this old. Look, I think the Hogs are cool because of the history behind it, and it's like a unique name and there's a reason behind the unique name, rather than trying to force like a military name onto it. You know.
Yeah.
I really like these old school logos as well. If you were to do tribe again, I don't know that they ever go back to Native American. I don't know that they go back to that theme, but I do like those old school logos that Washington had back in the day. I do like the red, the R logo as well. We just need the colors back. Like everything looks so gross now. It does not look good.
To be fair,
at all.
in person,
like this,
the jerseys were
in
nice.
person. Go ahead.
In person, the jerseys were nice. I went to the Giants game with them, and it actually looked really with them. I went to the Giants game in the game that the Giants in Washington tied. It looked nice, and I FaceTimes. I was like, jerseys don't look bad in person, but on screen, the way they promote it, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Let's see. If
Yeah.
I can look up a video.
Let's like NBC says the top 5 redesigns. These are all not great. A lot of stuff just feels like really forced. I want it to be clean.
Can't believe I went to
those are
go
all
see
pretty bad.
Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones this year. I'll say.
Yeah, the new jerseys, dude. I can't get behind them. I know. Someone said it in the chat. Like, to me, look, these jerseys are awful in my opinion. Just straight dog doo doo. This is This black one is a Steelers jersey. This has nothing to do with our franchise whatsoever.
Have we seen the black
This
one?
is a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. It does not look good. It does not look good. And the whole like the numbers look bad. They're not solid. They're like fading in and out of colors. I don't remember what that's called. It doesn't look good. Yeah, someone tweeted about this, but nothing feels in sync about the Washington uniforms. Literally nothing. Like it feels like it's 3 different sections. Yeah, here it is. These Commanders jerseys are a total disaster. Each element looks like it's a completely different uniform, which is true. Like what is this numbering? It doesn't look good. What is this random black stripe? Black has no history. Like we've never had a black color in our branding ever, and now we have it. It's just and this is McDonald's red. This is not maroon. This is McDonald's red. This isn't gold. It's yellow. Everything looks like it's from a different piece. Nothing is coherent.
What can you do?
Yeah. Anyway, I wonder if I just type in Commanders new name. Let's see what comes up. Josh Harris, Devils are at Capital One Arena tonight. No idea if he's at the game or not, but can you imagine the in-house entertainment crew putting him on the screen with his name, possible new Commanders owner in his bio? Anyway, just want to see if there's any redesigns. But anyway,
I think that's it for today.
That's probably it for today. That's probably all she wrote.
Huge love, everyone. We appreciate you. Make sure you drop a like. We'll be live next week, one day closer to the NFL draft. This time next week will be only a week out from the NFL draft. But we appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff that we always say. And Fantasyland.com or Fantasyland, flockfantasy.com/land. Best way to support us as well. So make sure you go check that out. And hopefully the Washington Commanders, maybe they just go back to the Washington football team. Maybe.
To me, this is the cleanest design I've ever seen from people who are trying to redesign it. Again, get rid of the oink, but everything else I think looks really clean. We need solid numbers again. None of this weird dots all over it, and the color changes throughout it. It's weird. It doesn't look good.
Right.
It's not modern. But anyway, that's all for us today. Drop a like on your way out, and yeah, have a good rest of your day.
Love y'all. Love.